Ladies, gentlemen, and other, the moment you have all been waiting for is here. Late Entry, your favorite podcast, is back. Hosted as always by the one with the stats, the knowledge, the smooth outros, Latofio.
The one and only.
We got the boy who is trying to get some motion and is working his way up, Kyle. RBF Kyle at that.
We'll take it. Hell yeah. What up, everybody?
And your boy Double Dose. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing fantastic.
Man. Never better.
Fantastic.
About to get into this smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna talk about your dart for president a little bit. That's definitely coming back up. This is what I was talking about earlier. I said I was waiting for the pod to show y'all. Check this shirt out that I just got. We got it's the Pope. It's the Chicago Pope.
The Pope.
We got old style. We got
Blizzard.
hot dogs with just the mustard. The Pope, Bears colors. Hey, out here.
That's clean.
Told you. He's slowly becoming a Bears fan.
No,
He's
never that.
He's going to fall for the Vikings next season. He'll be a whole NFC North fan.
That's kind of already happened. Hold on. That's kind of already happened.
Gonna come back out of retirement, join the Vikings. Gonna get his Brett Favre on. Then slowly but surely.
If that happened, I would follow him. Yeah.
We all know.
I would follow him. That's my table. But I mean, look, I've got Justin Jefferson in Dynasty, so I need them to do well. I obviously was rooting for success for JJ McCarthy coming out of U of M. So
He's got Caleb on his team, fellow light skin. Lining up.
I'm impressed by his play. I'm impressed. I'm not rooting for him to win against us, Packers and Lions. It's story for another time. But if they're not playing against us, and I'm not rooting for them to lose for a divisional spot or something, by all means. You know what I mean?
If it comes down to it, championship fantasy game, Williams versus Golf. How quickly he can become a Bears fan?
Yeah,
I think he might. I think he'll abandon ship real quick.
You said Williams.
He's going to see a little jersey pop up in the back.
No. He's saying Caleb Williams versus Jared Goff in the NFC Championship.
Like if you were
he's saying you're going to jump ship.
Fantasy championship. You got Williams.
Oh, in fantasy championship.
You're the only two people left to play. And it came down to it.
Is it going to cost the Lions a playoff spot if they lose?
No.
Oh, well then fuck it. Yeah, what? Of course I'm rooting for I'm trying to win some money. I'm trying to win some fantasy championship.
I'm just saying that's how it starts.
Hey,
it is.
It just creeps in there little by little.
He's already
I've got a St. Brown jersey and a Gibbs jersey paid for by their hard work in the fantasy championship 2 years ago. But I used that money to buy Lions jerseys though, not Caleb Williams jersey. But it's coming. Right. I am actively trying to get it.
Coming.
I'm trying to get a Caleb jersey. I'm trying to get a Loveland jersey.
I'm gonna get me a Bryce Young jersey, dude.
Hey, look,
good season coming up.
I've been hanging
tight end jerseys out here.
Look, I've been doing a podcast with Tove for what is this, like a year and a half at this point. I've seen that you can buy jerseys for other players that you don't root for their team, but you
players, not a tight end, not a tight end. I'm sorry, but tight ends ain't.
I got a tight end jersey right behind me.
That's what I'm saying.
Travis Kelce jersey
got no motion.
Hey,
he's the only one.
And that's whose jersey I have. Is Travis Kelce's.
I've been saying out of all jerseys you could have bought, I said, let me just buy a tight end jersey.
I've been a Travis Kelce fan.
That's a crazy pull.
I've had been a Travis Kelce fan longer than he's even thought about Taylor Swift.
And that's cool. You could have got a T-shirt jersey though, like
yeah.
You had to go a full jersey.
Nah, Travis and look, I've got 2 dynasty leagues. I'm in one. I'm in both of them with you, Toph. I'm in one of them with you, Kyle. That's the older one. I had Travis Kelce the whole time in that one, and I got him in our other one. I have been through some battles with Travis Kelce. That is my fantasy all-time Hall of Fame guy.
Listen, that's cool. My mom loves Travis Kelce, but I got her T-shirt jersey. But I got her St. Brown actual jersey.
Yeah,
and she likes both of it. But I know Travis Kelce actually authentic jersey. I'll get a St. Brown one for them, but we ain't getting no authentic tight end jersey. Better use of our money.
All right.
She asked you for Tyler Shuck. You're saying hell nuck.
We discriminating against tight ends. But I guess
I'm not getting a jersey.
I guess you know all about discrimination out here wearing that Jaxson Dart jersey. So
I sure do.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about January 6th Dart. Let's talk about that.
Shit.
JD 6, January Dart 6th. January Dart the 6th. All right. So let's just get it all out on the table, right? There's a few pieces of this, and we're gonna go through them step by step. Very viral. Trump was in New York for some rally or something. Anything but his fucking job. But he was in New York for some rally. And lo and behold, who did he have announce him? Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart, of all people, come out. And it is my pleasure to announce number 45 and 47, Donald Trump. All right. Anyways, it happened. Went incredibly viral. The whole internet saw it. Obviously, with as a polarizing person as Donald Trump is, the takes were everywhere. Some people don't care. Some people are real upset about it. Some people obviously support that in him. So that's step one. Let's get everybody's initial takes on it, and then we'll move into the next steps. Toph, obviously you were wearing the Jaxson Dart jersey. You got the Ole Miss one on. What was your initial thoughts on this?
Don't care. Didn't move me not one bit. Everybody has their own political views, and that is your American right to, whoever your president is, that's your president out there. Only thing I care about is human decency. Just because he announced a 45, 47, I don't think anything different of him. Abdul Carter already posted, doesn't care about it, because all the media wants to do is try to divide the team. It's New York media. Of course, as soon as they got, whiff of this, they said, oh, yeah, roll my hands together like Birdman. We got something in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's just media trying to be media out there. We probably all have a family member, a friend that has a different views of you. Do you look at that person any different? Now, you might. Like I said, I work with people all the time. I tell them I don't care who who your president, that's your president. That is your right to believe in that. But you as a person, we're still good. Same thing for Dart. Same for the teammates. I know that's that hidden thing, and especially in work, related, there's things you don't talk about, your pay, and, religion, and the political views in there, because it's so, divisive. You don't know how someone's going to take it. So for me, as a Dart football fan, the Giants as well, too, as long as you spin the appeal and you get them dubs, that's all I care about. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, it's a choice for him to do, to do this, to go down that lane. Yeah, to me personally, it feels like, I mean, honestly, it's not even to me technically an admission of him saying who he aligns with. It's just him being like, hey, this is the 45th, 47th president. I mean, I can almost guarantee you, I've listened to hours of St. Brown's podcast and plenty of his interviews and a lot of his casual conversation along with what he's saying just for the media. I can almost guarantee you he did not vote for Donald Trump in the last election. I don't know that for a fact, but like the fact that, he did a little dance in a game, and I know we talked about this off air, but St. Brown hit Trump dance in the Commanders game last season, and Spencer also said that was linked to the downfall of the Lions' entire season after, which is not necessary. People did say that. Yeah. That it was it was rumored to be, which there might be some truth to that as far as coincidence or whatever. But I don't know. Like somebody just walking out and introducing a president, that's happened a million times. I mean, Jim Gaffigan was out there like saying good things about Trump at the what was it, the Marriott thing or whatever the event thing that he did. I mean, even he had a few nice things to say about him. That he probably didn't even want to do that, but like felt like, all right, I'm going to be impartial. I'm going to, have a thing to say about each side. Kind of like you on your intros. You raved Toph, but then you were like, what do I got to say nice about Kyle? He's trying. Yeah, so I think that's what this could be. I'm not saying that that's what it is, and that he's a Democrat. Jaxson Dart doesn't necessarily strike me as the most liberal person in the world, but kind of similar to Toph. Like at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit as long as you go play good football and don't do anything stupid or illegal or hateful to other people. I think you're all right.
I'm gonna get into the Abdul Carter of it all second. I'm gonna go with the other part of it first. Now, I think there's two aspects of this. Toph, I think that you make two very good points that I'll address first before I get to the next part of that. No matter who you voted for, no matter who you support, we all as Americans got to find a way to come into work and either work with or help or live with each other at the end of the day. Neighbors, jobs, etc. Talking to somebody at the gas station while you're filling up, staying in the line, anything like that. We all do got to find a way to live with each other. And I think that has gotten progressively worse over the last 10 years. My personal opinion, I think it is a large part due to the wedge that 45 and 47 has driven on purpose. Besides the point, we all gotta get along. We all gotta work together sometimes with people you don't agree with to achieve a common goal, which is what football is going to be. Football's got a roster of, I believe, 53 people. There's nobody that's going to be from the exact same backgrounds. There's nobody that's going to have the exact same beliefs. But when 53 become one, that's how you achieve something great. I'm with you on that. And I think that goes beyond just football. It goes to all of our individual lives as well, too. And as football being a meritocracy, it is about how well you perform. If, like you said, if you could throw the pill, that's being the quarterback. That's the first part. The second part is everybody's got their own political opinions, and we don't necessarily know everybody's. You know, there's lots of players that you don't necessarily know who they voted for or not voted for because they're not talking about it. When you go up there and announce the guy, Kyle, I disagree with you where you said that it doesn't necessarily mean that he voted for him. Yes, you're right. We don't know who he voted for. I think that when you agree to be his intro guy that does show an endorsement, I do think that. I think that when you see somebody linked to somebody that agrees to do something on a public stage for a rally, Tony Hinchcliffe, Jaxson Dart, I think that it's not
Whoa.
fair.
What a lump in that is, bro. Tony Hinchcliffe, who made one of the most racist jokes that ever been made in political history on a political stand. And then Jaxson Dart, who said 45 and 47. What the hell is that? Like that. I mean, what is that link right there?
I'm trying to explain it.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't say that they were the same person. I say that when you agree to do an event for someone like that, I think that it's not fair to say that you don't. It gives you the optical perception of an endorsement. If I agree to perform, if late entry, if he wanted fucking entertainers and late entry goes to fucking do the intro for that, they're going to say, hey, they must be cool with what's going on. I'm not personally going to do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that part. I don't agree with you putting him in, like, because Tony Hinchcliffe got up there and used it as his time to be funny and racy. Whereas Jaxson Dart was like, I'm filling in a box that my agent probably asked me to do, and I said, fuck it. Like that, which, like, yeah, okay, maybe a little bit of, like, maybe you could have been more, like, aware of the career move you were making, sure.
That's my
But,
point.
like, that is way different than Tony Hinchcliffe getting up there and just being hateful.
I'm not calling him Tony Hinchcliffe. I'm just saying that
you just put him in. You couldn't name anybody besides him and Tony Hinchcliffe as far as people who endorse Trump.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Well,
I can.
And in that moment, that was the first person that came to your mind.
Brother, you're not even letting me get my points out.
Go ahead.
Let me respond, I guess, to what you're saying then, right? Yes, I can name more people. I can name that in 2016, Snoop Dogg said if you go perform for him at the inauguration, you're a coon. In 2020, when the election happened, guess who performed for Trump? Snoop Dogg. So if you called anyone who would do it before a coon, what are you now, Snoop Dogg? I can name other people for that, but that's not my point. My point is the fact that you have seen over the course of time between between Trump 1, Biden, and Trump 2, you have seen a situation where players will choose not to go to the White House if they win a championship, either as individual players or as a team. It's been political for a while. And that's just an obligation that you have because you won a championship. The reason I compared him to Tony Hinchcliffe is because you didn't have that obligation due to winning. You just straight made a choice to go do it on your own and accept what came with that. That's what I'm trying to say. So knowing how polarizing he is, you attach yourself to him, regardless of how you feel about it. That's what you've shown the public. I'm willing to go up here and put myself in the same room as him to announce him. That's how we know your affiliation. By you telling us that. We didn't look it up. Nobody fucking got a page 6 picture of them sitting together at lunch. You did that. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it's fair. I don't think it's unfair for people to draw the fucking lines together. That's what I'm trying to say. So yes, anyone who's watched the podcast for a long time, I think, knows how, at least me at the very least, feels about Trump. Not a fucking fan at all. But, yeah, like Toph said, you got the right to do whatever you want to do. We don't know how many people it is. A lot of athletes probably are Trump because they're rich and that's a better investment for them into their finances. The thing with Jaxson Dart is you voluntarily told us. That's all I'm saying about that. Do you feel me on that before I move on?
Yeah. I mean, we can get into the semantics of it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear how that could look.
I mean,
just him introducing him because he's a polarizing figure. I just think, for basically any other president we've ever had, we wouldn't be hearing all of the same backlash just for him introducing him. Like, you might be like, I don't know. Like, you would give him the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, maybe he didn't vote for him. But now everybody's like, nope, he's a Trumper. It's like, whoa, he just said, welcome to the stage in his own city. Like, I'm sure it wasn't on his own doing too. I'm sure there were other forces in play of like, hey, Trump wants to talk to you. Trump wants to see if you're down to introduce him. And Jaxson Dart's like,
you still have a choice.
You still have a choice. You think Jaxson Dart's on Twitter looking at what Trump's doing and all his executive? You think he actually cares about that? Knowing what you know about Jaxson Dart, do you think he actually has if you are going to be making your choice politically, are you going to look at Jaxson Dart and what he's doing to make your choice on that?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. And I think most of America is that way.
I'd never said that.
Most of voting America is that way.
I never said he's a role model for voting. I'm just saying that you've chosen to. Hey, look, let me ask you this, right? Kyle, you're interested in stand-up comedy, right? Let's say that you get an invite from Diddy to be his opener. Are you doing it?
Diddy doesn't do stand-up.
He wants an intro for anything. Are you doing it?
No.
Are you doing it for R. Kelly?
No.
Why aren't you doing it? Because it's a bad look, right?
Sure, yeah.
That's my point. Right. Anyways, on to the Abdul Carter part of it. I have an issue with him as well. And this is why. And Toph, you alluded to this. When it first happened, Abdul Carter, who, if you don't know who he is on the Giants team. He quote tweeted the video of Jaxson Dart and said, "What are we doing here?" Then the media hit it, right? So then a little bit of time, people are tweeting, "Hey, Giants locker room fractured." Abdul Carter, I don't know if it was hours later, like immediately, like some time passed in between. Abdul Carter comes back to Twitter. "Hey, talk to JD6. We're all good. Y'all can keep your narratives." I don't want to hear that shit from you because there would be no narratives if you didn't talk. You act like we made this shit up. If it was just the fucking video of Jaxson Dart and Trump, there's speculation. You're the one who fed into it by fucking talking about it. Hey, what are we doing here? There's no narratives that came from us just making this shit up. No one in the media said, "Hey, the locker room split," before you said something. You said something about it. That's why they're talking about it. And then you come back and say, "Y'all can keep your narratives." Motherfucker, they're the narratives you started. You could have called Jaxson Dart privately and talked to begin with and not gone to Twitter. But no, you said something on a public platform. People reacted to that, and now we're the wrong ones for that. I think that's some grade A bullshit, personally.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're wrong for reacting to it. I'm just saying, like, I think we're allowed to also disagree with you thinking that it's wrong. Like, I mean, inherently, like, just, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I don't think we're going to see eye to eye here, but, like, yeah, I don't think either of us having a pushback is a bad thing.
No, I'm saying, I'm talking about the fact that Abdul Carter is making it seem like the media made it up. He said y'all can
He's
keep your
about, like, the backtracking of it.
Right.
Okay.
You made a public issue of it, and then you came back and said y'all can keep your narratives. Yeah. We didn't start the narratives, you did.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, everybody was painting their own for sure, and yeah, but I mean, it's definitely not a good look for the team. I didn't realize that tweet happened. That's hilarious.
That I have a as big of an issue with that as I do with anything else.
Yeah,
I hate when athletes do shit or any celebrities do stuff. You draw attention and then act like motherfuckers made it up. Like, we didn't make it up. You brought the shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's where I'm at with that situation. It's been an interesting offseason for the Giants. Let me see if I can find this tweet real quick. Yeah, okay. So this is someone with the Jaxson Dart actual AVI on Twitter. It's Tara B. Tracy Jr. Offseason consisted of QB being MAGA, wide receiver 1 hating on picks on live TV, RB1 saying CTE isn't real, GM still breathing, Deontay Banks still on roster, Darius Slayton healthy. Who has it worse than Giants fans? It's a great way going into the season. Now, if you look, we're releasing a bonus episode of our reactions to the schedules and picking who we think is going to win and not win these games. Toph breaks down how he thinks the Giants are going to go, so go take a look at that. But just real quick, Toph, how confident are you feeling about the Giants moving into this? Do you think any of this hangs over any of this, or do you think it's just going to all be business as usual?
Business as usual. Like I said, it's New York media. The NFL is the king of storylines in there. For better or worse, this is what gets all of us fans and even the casuals that just, scroll on social media, see a little, click title, want to run with it. This will get us amped up. Like I said, every team is going to have, its downfalls, its trials, tribulations in there. My ranking could be completely different. They could win every single game. They could lose every single game. We've probably all cooked up a parlay we thought was a lot. And you're like, damn, I got everything wrong. I remember I got killed for college football week 1. Florida State, Alabama. When I meant to do the plus 13.5, they ended up covering the minus 13.5. And everybody said, you're an idiot. Why do you got to buy against equipment? Joke's on you. I actually got that one right. But no, like I said, it's just, if this happens in New Orleans or, Milwaukee, any other kind of small market city, I highly doubt this will be that big of a deal in there. It's because it's New York, capital city of the world, and Donald Trump. Like you said, the most polarizing, person in all of, probably the world. I can't even say just, America. So no, like I said, doesn't bother me at all. It's just NFL has to mix up storylines to kind of get, the ball rolling, really.
I think that the last thing I'll say about this, I got 2 more things. One's about Dart specifically, one's not. Regardless of how you feel about what he did and what he didn't do, I would argue that even if it wasn't Trump, if it was Biden or Obama, while it would be maybe cool to be in that position, I think that someone as new to the game as Dart, where you've already kind of had some shakeups with concussions and stuff like that, you've only been in it for 1 year, we don't really know how good you are. I think that when you align yourself with a polarizing person in any way, you're limiting your marketability. I guarantee you there are people that consider Dart for endorsements that are no longer doing that. If you're okay with that, cool. But just something to think about.
Yeah.
You guys feel like that's fair?
I mean, my pocket, so
yeah.
It doesn't matter to me at all. But yeah, what you said is right. But at the end of the day, the man's from Utah. You think he's worried? I mean, he's grew up with the money. He ain't worried about them endorsements. Dart,
he's not playing for free though.
I mean, he ain't playing for free, but he beats his own drum. He got his lady.
The best players
married, might get a another ring in there. He loves the Star Wars. He's having a good old time. He's been winning this offseason. He ain't worried about what y'all think.
Hey, it can all happen so fast. RG3, perfect example. It can all end very quickly. Do you still want to be
everybody though?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But you see somebody like Tom Brady who just shut the fuck up for 20-some years. Now the motherfucker's out of the league after being the GOAT. Now you can do whatever you want. You can go on.
See, that's a bit different because
talk shit.
The generation gap.
Tom was
what you just about
Tom was Carter? A shy.
He never would have. He could think whatever he thinks, but when you hit send,
thank you.
Now you can't undo that. Yeah, like I said, if he never said anything with the AB route, keep things private. You know what they say. Have the locker in the locker room. That's no longer a thing in there. Because all these young people just want to, post everything for the world to see. That's what caused all the problems. But back in the day, you didn't have Instagram. You didn't have TikTok, X, whatever you want to call it. So we didn't have these issues. But I guarantee you, I remember when Jordan signed his teammates. Yeah, that blew up. But it wasn't as big because it wasn't going to all the masses in it. But they've been doing this for the beginning of time. And it's just amplified tenfold now because we got social media presence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we talked about Toph. I think you and I were in the episode where we talked about Jamar Chase calling out the defense last year. And it's like, bro, you got to keep that shit inside. Because if Abdul Carter never clicks send, everyone's talking about the Jaxson dart of it, but no one's talking about the locker room of it. Now we're talking about the locker room because of Abdul Carter. Exactly. That being said, this is my second point, and the last thing I got on this. This is not the first time that we have seen a public call out like this before. Although I don't remember, maybe you guys do, what year Drew Brees retired. But when it came out with I believe, this is sketchy on this, so I got the general idea of it. I think it was either with the players kneeling or it was the George Floyd. It was one of the two of those. Drew Brees kneeling. Okay, Drew Brees had made it. So it was when he was still playing then, yep. So he had made a comment about that, and Malcolm Jenkins called him out on social media, and then they talked. But Malcolm Jenkins wasn't backing down of it. Hey, this is how I feel about this. I'm going to talk to you so I can try to change your mind about this. And Drew Brees came out and made an apology about it and then stood on that apology. So it does happen. And people, if you feel strongly enough about it, if Abdul Carter would have stood on business, I wouldn't have an issue with it. It's the fact that you tried to make it seem like the media made it up. That's what frustrates me. Either you don't click send and I'm cool, or you click send and you stand on business. But don't click send and then act like, hey,
well, I don't think he said nothing happened. I think he wanted to absolve himself of what he created, which is still a problem. But he was basically like, oh, yeah, I tweeted that. Jaxson and I talked about it. I know his heart. So make of it what you guys want. Like, I'm not going to explain anything to you guys. But it's also like, in a way, you kind of do owe an explanation because you started it, right?
Thank you.
Like, yeah, I agree with you on that.
Well, Malcolm Jenkins stood on business.
Jenkins on
business. Could have been his agent trying to do like a PR move. It could have been the Giants saying it. And we all know that never works. But like I said, I would want to say his first tweet was how he actually felt.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, I mean, he's already had, from the time he got there, between being late to meetings, not really trying. He's already not off to the best start. And so now you do this. Like I said, I think it's just, my person, I think it's just PR move. Like, hey, man, you got to clean this up.
Yeah, he's keeping it
safe. I don't know how the media moves.
I think that when you look at a Malcolm Jenkins, Drew Brees situation, when you look at a Colin Kaepernick situation, I think that everyone is allowed to have an opinion. But if you are going to make it public, be prepared to deal with those consequences. And that goes for both Jaxson and Abdul. Don't run from it. That's where you at.
Eric Reed, the safety.
What do you do?
So he was on the Giants, the 49ers. Kaepernick was kneeling, and then he started kneeling, and he basically ended his career because of that.
Yeah?
Really?
I mean, he was a hell of a player. Well, like I said, since during that time frame, it was very, very decisive. And eventually, like I said, after that season, he started playing less and less, and no other team gave him another deal because he was so I'm going to kneel every single game. I don't care what you say. He took his fines, and he basically got blacklisted.
Yeah, so that's, not that any
like I said,
probably going to listen. Exactly. Not that probably any athlete's going to listen to what we got to say, but think about that before you make a statement either way. You know what I mean? There's going to be repercussions, and there's always a production and tolerance. So it's like, as long as you performing, but let you stop performing and then see how many people want you if you have made yourself, too hot to touch. See Antonio Brown.
Really quick, another one that's kind of brought to my attention with that, dealing with repercussions. I can't remember the guy's name. I remember he was on the Cowboys, and he was just like super pro weed, and he was a really good player. He basically said, "I'm done. If I can't smoke weed, I'm not playing the NFL." So he chose weed
crazy
over the NFL.
That is crazy.
I wish I remember this guy's name. I remember. He was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm good." And he was really young still too.
If you wouldn't have given me a team, I would have just said Ricky Williams. But
Josh
I
Gordon.
know. Yeah, Josh Gordon, Ricky Williams.
See, but Gordon, he was still good. They were like, let's give him another chance. See, the man had
I know. They're like
that good. They were
fuck. It was weed and coke this time. All right, fuck it. Give him 4 games to get him. He's so good. Let him come back.
But that's the whole thing is, your career might be great. Your talent might carry you for 15 years. Your career might carry you for a year or 2 years. So that all things to think about. Yeah. You got players that are out of the league doing Heisman House commercials. Johnny Manziel can still get a check because people don't hate him. Half the country hates you one way or the other. It's harder.
They do, but they don't at the same time.
Hate Manziel?
Yeah, there's a good amount of people that do hate it, but majority love that guy. Yeah, especially if you, like I said, me, like he's my favorite college football player of all time, and I don't think anybody will ever beat it. Just watching what he did, every single Saturday, how he moves. I mean, like I said, we all went to college, all did the crazy things. He lived everybody's life. He was brash, he was arrogant, he said what he said, but when he stepped on that field on Saturday, he backed up all his talk.
Oh, so, yeah.
He's definitely stood on business.
Just throwing it back to that last thing you said, it was David Irving, defensive tackle from the Cowboys.
That's what it was, David Irving.
Okay.
How old was he at that time?
He was, I think they said he was in his 4th year, 3rd year. Yeah, so he was still young. He got hit with, and they gave him a full year or indefinite suspension, which was probably a full year. And he basically was like, all right, then I quit. He's like, it's better than opioids. It's better than Xanax. It's better than that. He was standing on his principle, but at the same time, you just lost $40 million standing on that business.
Yeah, I think this was like 2015, 2016. Like
yeah, it was 2019. 2019.
And I'll say this. I will say this in his defense.
It's legal in half the states in America at that point.
Well, that's not what I was going to say, because I think most people would say...
It's a different time now.
I think most people would say, like, hey, you can't stop smoking to make millions? What the fuck is wrong with you? But if you're saying that his argument was, I have pain and I don't want to be addicted to opioids, I think that's a fair argument.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair argument. Hey, I don't want to be under the overpass because I can't get off drugs.
You never, because like I said, I'm never going to, tell somebody, everybody's body's different, because there's a lot of these, bad drugs you take over the counter that could really mess you up. But like I said, I don't know David Irving's background. I would doubt he came from generational money. But at the same time, like, I know he had a family as well, too. I remember that because I think he talked to like his girl. I don't know if he had a kid, but at the same time, like when you're in that position, we're talking about, the 1% in there, like you couldn't, at least get one big contract before you made that move.
Right.
That's the part where I'm like, come on, man. Like,
just buckle down, get that contract.
I don't want to be that one, but it's like, man, you were right there, man.
I believe he
was ascending at that time.
I believe it's Ryan Leaf.
Chargers quarterback
has a beef with a doctor, and I wasn't prepared to talk about this. This just came up from this, but he has a beef with a doctor that he believes, with his heart, helped one of his friends die by prescribing him opioids, and the player died, and he believes that the doctor is at fault for this. The doctor obviously is like, hey, what I did was above board. This is the way that we're supposed to handle these situations. But Ryan Leaf has an axe to grind with this guy because his friend died because of this, because of opioids and what he was prescribed after an injury. So
it ain't gonna happen from weed, I'll tell you that. Ain't gonna die from weed, I promise. You might think you will, but you won't.
It is honestly crazy now that weed is still illegal in the NFL. Like, I would love to hear someone in 2026 explain to me what the issue is with
versus the other things that they are allowed to take. Yeah, I mean, It should be. I mean, I think it's because it's federally not legal still. That's really the big thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you guys do, but I'm pretty sure after a certain amount of time they don't test that anymore. And drug testing.
I think that's just NBA. I could be wrong.
Okay.
To my latest knowledge, I think that's just NBA that they're not going to test.
He was high playing out there. And I never heard him get suspended.
Well, most of them don't have, like Mark Ingram's talked about the same thing. Unless you're in like drug court, like Pat Mahomes has talked about, Pat McAfee has talked about it on his podcast because he was in the drug court like thing because he got a drunken disorderly, I think like in Baltimore or Pittsburgh or something while he was playing for the Colts. So then they put him on like drug watch. So he's testing once a week, doing the whole nine. And basically, unless you're one of those guys, you only got to be clean in the off season. Like other than that, you're basically gravy. And a lot of them are just going to be like, I'm going to stay clean because it's what's right for my body and this and that, right? But like, yeah, some guys are like, no, I'm going to smoke some weed.
And then you've got Mad Dog on ESPN talking about how he's going to pop some gummies and throw some sports bets up. And that
this is 2026, baby.
There's two ways of looking at that. We've got the people that are in the grind; they can't do anything, but we as the spectators can make money off of talking about them while we're a participant and all that. But you could also look at it as, hey, you got a job. There's rules at your job, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and I totally get the aspect of the optics of it. What is the NFL's biggest thing they promote all the time? Sports gambling now. Every single beer. You go to the games, it's like $50 for, a beer. And that's something that, you could leave the stadium, get into an accident, and really end somebody's life compared to, a stimulant, weed and things. So I totally get, which one is way, way worse, damning to you than the other one. Like I said, I get that rules are rules. You got to follow it. But like I said, I don't agree with that. But like I said, it is what it is, unfortunately.
The rules are the rules. On to some other.
Follow that damn rule if I was David Irving. Go ahead.
On to some other wild optics. So from what I've gathered, I believe Draymond Green had picked the Cavs to win the series against the Knicks. And so obviously the Knicks are up big right now on them. And so I don't know if you guys know who Hannah Hoops is. She's somebody that's big on NBA Twitter. I don't follow her, but I see her things pop up all the time. No. Big on NBA Twitter. She's just no. She's just a sports fan.
Big Hannah in platform. That was going down here.
Someone had tweeted a video of Dylan Brooks sitting courtside laughing and said Draymond quiet as fuck, and she quote tweeted that in all caps, "Come outside, bitch," at Draymond Green. And Draymond Green responded and said, "Watch your mouth before I crush those dirty ass kids in your banner." It's one of the wildest things I've ever seen an athlete say to a fan. Not like, it's a dicey look, dog. It's a dicey look. First of all, I think that any time that an athlete even hints at violence in a woman's direction, first of all, men shouldn't be being violent toward women to begin with. That's step one.
And mentioning some kids.
Right. And then
called out her kids.
It's
30 kids at that.
Horrible look. You could have said so many different things. Could have fired back at her in a million different ways. You could have just shut the fuck up. But if you didn't want to shut the fuck up, you could have said a million other things that would have been more acceptable. You threatened some kids for the world to see?
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking, Draymond? What were you thinking?
Cue the Michael Jordan meme, fuck them kids.
And everybody's posted in the comments the video of him in the locker room talking about the media wants to portray me as the angry black man. That's not what I am. I'm educated. I'm good at my job. And that's that. But I'm not the angry black man, and I'm tired of this narrative y'all keep pushing. Well, Draymond, you just threatened some white girl's kids. That's not a good look, Draymond Green. It's a very,
This is like
very
a
bad
SpongeBob,
look.
a fucked up SpongeBob episode where he's like, "Man, I would never do anything fucked up to a woman. I'd never say anything wrong about her kids." 5 minutes later, man, fuck your kids.
I crush those kids, Draymond.
Hey.
What the?
Listen here, y'all. The man that you are today ain't the man that you will be tomorrow.
True shit.
I hope to.
I hope you're right. Yeah,
that was him in the past, but him today, ain't the same person.
That was him 3 hours ago.
Draymond Green has never displayed to me any level of good decision making. I mean, that you could look up a 20-minute highlight reel of all of the things that he has done on the court, stomping on people, kicking people in the nuts, swinging and windmill punching people. I mean, it's ridiculous. Then he was inside the NBA, took shots at Charles Barkley. Like, it's very clear between him having his own podcast and his appearances on Inside the NBA that he wants to have a post-career career in commentating and being a sports talking head.
100%.
You think Kendrick Perkins is on First Take because he's threatening kids? Like, you know what I'm saying? What, bro? Yeah. It's right there for you, Draymond. Get out of your own way.
Kendrick Perkins is there to be the punching bag, very clearly, but Draymond wouldn't settle for that.
I can't imagine that. And it's like, bro, I wonder who called him first. Do you think it was his agent or you think it was Adam Silver? Adam be letting these boys get away with everything, dog. David Stern would have had the black SUVs outside of his house immediately. Mm-hmm.
Adam Silver is like Jim Carrey from Me, Myself, and Irene. He's just like completely oblivious to everything that's going on around him.
He just wants to figure out how we can add more tournaments.
Yeah.
Just like, more tournaments, in-season tournament, preseason tournament.
Roger Goodell.
Bruh, I had to check that tweet repeatedly because I thought my eyes were. I was like, no way, this is the real Draymond. Go to his page. Doesn't say parody anywhere. Scrolling through. This is the real Draymond Green, y'all. This is the real Draymond Green. Hey, Kevin Durant would have said that shit through a burner. I guess Draymond stayed on our business, but I can't believe it, dog. That is the wildest thing I can think of that an athlete has said or done. And we started this off talking about Jaxson Dart introducing Trump.
I mean, beating kids and saying, here's our 47th, 45th president, no matter how crazy he is, are a little different.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we started this talking about one viral thing with the athlete, and now we went to something even crazier. Like, just to make sure that you both have the chance to say anything, do either of you think that this is not a big deal?
I wouldn't say. Go ahead, Kyle.
I think this shows that Draymond, like, I mean, it just kind of proves that Draymond is the crash out we've always known him to be or assumed him to be. I mean, we've seen him not act right in multiple different situations. And yeah, this is just another one of him flying off the handle. I don't think this is like a criminalizing thing or necessarily shows how he'd actually act in this situation. I think the guy's just got bigger Twitter fingers than he knows what to deal with.
Toph?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at this point, Draymond has been emboldened by the things that he says, the actions he does on and off the court, and he's never been checked for it. Like Shaq would always say, like back in the day, gonna put them paws on you. The Warriors just letting him do whatever he wants and no repercussions for it, really. You were the one that cried and said, we need to get KD. Now KD's here. You're pretty much the main driving force that got him out of there. Fans as well, too. But, you calling him the B word, that was, the final straw in there. So, like I said, Draymond has just been emboldened by, I don't think he would have done nearly the things that he could have done in the league if he was on another team, if he was on the Warriors. I think he was in the perfect place at the perfect time in that system in there. But if he would have been on, let's just say Memphis, since he loves the Grizzlies so much in there, we're not getting the same Draymond Green. He would have had this same, ego that he has in there. But since he's, got these rings, he's got the defensive, accolades in there. He thinks he's the best defensive player to ever play the game in there. It just helps boost his ego in there. So now he thinks he could go out there and say whatever he wants in there. Sadly, he is entertaining to the detriment of certain people in there. Just like I said, could I see them on his own, he has his own podcast show, but on TV, yes, because that's what TV wants now, entertainment. He's entertainment. He's perfect for it.
I guess that's. I just don't know if I can't imagine Charles Barkley or Stephen A. Smith talking about how they gonna crush these dirty ass kids in your banner.
No.
And not getting the call. Well, I'm just saying from the organization, from the networks. I can't imagine ESPN letting that slide.
I don't know if Draymond would be on, newly ESPN, inside the NBA. I don't see that. It could be some other, well, it's not Gil's Arenas anymore, the arena. Like I said, I just don't think, especially Disney would not want Draymond Green on there. Ain't no way that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, your options are Disney, NBC, and Prime. I don't know if any of them want that. Aside from that, why join another podcast? You got your own podcast. There's no point in going into Gil's Arena when you got your
Barstool
own.
Sports would take.
Yeah,
that is a fantastic. That is a fantastic point.
That would.
I don't think that Draymond can deal with them though.
Yeah, no, probably not. He's gonna crash out and fight all of them.
That's those ones that you hate each other, but you make it work. You just said it. Come to a common goal. Become as one.
Arian Foster would be over there like, hey, bro, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here, Draymond. I'm here.
You might be right. Last basketball thing, real quick. A lot of people after the Cavs, I believe, are down 0-3 right now. It is 0-3, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So everyone's talking about like, man, imagine being a James Harden fan for 17 years and having 17 years of the same result over and over again. And it got me thinking, I do know what that's like. You know why I know what that's like? And Kyle, you're going to hate me for saying this. Draymond Green is not Draymond. James Harden, being a James Harden fan is the equivalent of being a Lions fan. Every year you have hope. Every year it looks good. And you already know exactly how it's going to end every single year. And you get a whole bunch of people, oh, this year is going to be different. And it's not different.
Yeah. I would say the only difference is that the Lions keep getting younger and James Harden only gets older. So I can still have hope for a new Lions team. If you're still rooting for James Harden right now, get the fuck over it, brother. It's over.
That is a fantastic point. Okay. One more thing from Twitter. So I last night got home, was checking my phone, checking Twitter, seeing what the news was before I went to bed, and Twitter has this little basically like AI created breakdown of what you might have missed from an event. And so this is how I learned about the Aiden Ross MMA event that happened yesterday. And I'm going to read this tweet to you guys. You can either address the tweet or you can talk about anything from the event that you saw or wanted to talk about from it. But I just thought that this was full of every sentence in here. I was like, what? So the big bold, Sean Strickland drops N-word on commentary, leaves in shame at Brand Risk 14. At Aiden Ross's Brand Risk Promotions 14 event Saturday at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, UFC middleweight Sean Strickland was commentating it when he shouted, "Tap, nigga, turn a submission win." Tensions rose after streamer Ben Dedon objected, leading Strickland to call him sensitive before walking off air. Post-event, Strickland posted a video expressing profound shame, saying he hated himself and felt like less of a man and apologized to fans in America. The card featured wild moments like Lance Stevenson choking out Michael Beasley and Johnny Manziel.
I still have to watch that one.
Yeah,
that was a good
one. Johnny Manziel TKO win over Bob Maroney. Now, as me who didn't know that this event was happening, I was more shocked at hearing that Johnny Manziel and Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson were fighting than I was about Sean Strickland talking about nigga. That's but every sentence of this was like, wait, what the fuck did I just read?
I was
I had to take that bitch in pieces, dog. I was like, wait, Sean Strickland said the N-word. Okay, not surprising. Johnny Manziel knocked somebody out. What? Lance Stevenson choked out Michael Beasley. What the fuck? What's going on?
And down goes Ray J.
And down goes Ray J, bro. Bro, Ray J and
Yes.
Michael Beasley both. Oh, man.
The
they were
Supa
talking
Hot
such a
Fire
big
that
game.
Ray J fought, was that the rapper?
Yes, that is the
Remember
Supa Hot
Yes.
Fire.
videos?
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's him.
Yeah, and he's actually
Psych,
I
that's
think that
the
was
wrong
his
number.
Sight. Yeah.
He was
but he got them hands though.
I think that was his either second or third win on one of the Aiden fights. Like he's actually got it like that. Like, and
Hey,
it's
Ray
so
J-
funny. You can tell he's just like he just has a hard punch. Like he charges up,
Apparently,
bro. Ray J was stunned. He was
They tried
He
to interview
was
Ray J.
out.
They tried to interview Ray J afterwards, and Ray J made it sound like they had tried to collude to scam. He was
Oh,
like, "Hey, I
stop.
thought we had a plan. I can't say too much. I don't want to get us in trouble, but I thought we had a plan." And all I'm thinking is Supa Hot
Damn.
Fire. Psych.
yeah.
hey, Ray J's one wish never came true.
Nothing has gone well for Ray J ever since he stopped smashing Kim, dog. He should have latched onto that for
Hey.
your life, dog.
I told you about the Kim Kardashian curse. If you mess with a Kardashian, it ain't never going in well for you.
That was the peak of Pete Davidson at this point too. I mean, the dude's still funny, but what have you heard about Pete Davidson since he broke up with Kim K?
I mean, he just
Okay.
ethered fucking
The
Tony
Kardashian
Hinchcliffe
curse.
at that roast.
Well, yeah, that was a good. Yeah, he also he got roasted for being. I don't even remember what his joke was. Didn't feel that bad to me, but
Kardashian
I'm
curse.
white.
You fall off. You change genders. It's just bad, man.
or you die
Can't mess with it.
like
Or you die. Or you die. Oh my god.
like their
He
dad.
ain't worth it. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, the Kanye
Actually, no,
shit.
I'm not sorry.
Hey, look, we just
Sorry,
talked
not
about. I'm not too much in the Kardashians. We were just talking off camera about how I owe
No.
everything to Kim Kardashian for what she's done for, for the looks of women. Thank you, Kim. That's all I got to say to Kim.
words of the good doctor, you must stand strong. That temptation. And that's coming from me.
I watched some clips of these fights. The Manziel
Shout
one,
out
bro,
Sophie
he was-
Rain. Sorry, I had to. I knew it was late, but I had to throw it in there.
Who's that?
Nothing. Nobody.
Hey,
Unhinged
Manziel was out
late
here
entry.
throwing them kicks, dog. He was. Yeah. For the whole thing. Are you guys surprised about the Sean Strickland thing? No parts of this surprises me. First
Sean
of all,
Strickland, no. And,
he is a grade A asshole. Like,
Yeah.
when I watch him fight, I'm hate watching. I want to see somebody finally shut this motherfucker up. But
I mean, yeah, he's as like Midwest racist as like not even racist. I mean, he is, but like I don't like want to put him in that like like white hat society. But I mean, yeah, he had no real upbringing from what I've heard about him, and so this is like he's like a giant, strong kid trying to make his own realizations in his life, and I'm not saying that he's right for it. I mean, him to storm off the second he was confronted is just proof that you like bro, just talk about it. Otherwise, like, I think he left because he probably thought like, I'm going to hit this guy because we're going to argue and I'm going to hit him. And it's like that shouldn't be where we go. But I mean, that also is probably what makes you one of the best in the UFC and is why you're a title holder right now.
Man, you doing
because
way too
you
just
just
defending to this motherfucker in my
Oh,
opinion.
no. I'm not defending his morals. I'm just saying that I think he I don't know. I've heard plenty of interviews with him. He is a broken child still. Like, and I mean, there's no excuse when you're 40 and you're still a broken child. Like, I know him in my life. I got no excuses for him. I'm just saying that, like, you know, that's the thing that happens, and like it's something to take into account. Not saying he's right for what he said, obviously.
I'm not taking none of that into account. If yo ass is a broken child, he's got money to go talk to the lady. He can go sit down and talk to the lady and get through that shit.
Yeah,
you out here. Look, as someone who doesn't intensely follow any combat sports, I'll watch big fights and stuff. I'm aware of household names, right? But Sean Strickland is consistently on my feed for just saying something incredibly offensive to someone. He goes around trying to be the biggest asshole he can be. You know what I mean? And so the fact that he came out here and then tap, nigga, like, yeah, I'm sure that's in your vocabulary. And I'm sure that it fucking slipped out now. And it doesn't surprise me one fucking bit. Because you were a fucking asshole and you just got caught being an asshole on camera. And that was just a Freudian slip. Oh, it slipped out. Fuck, I wasn't supposed to say that. So like you said, probably not the best way to handle it. You could have just apologized. I'm sorry. Would have probably gone a long way, considering you wound up fucking apologizing anyways. Instead, you call this motherfucker who confronted you about it sensitive. And then you storm out just to have probably your publicist fucking call you and say, fix this now. Now you're going to come back with the video. I'm sorry, I feel like less of a man. Fuck you. Ain't nobody believe that shit. I don't. Like, I don't know about y'all.
Abdul Carter.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter PR.
It's been a big weekend for people walking shit back.
No kidding.
Oh,
that's
man.
funny.
Okay. We are getting up there in time, but I have one more topic I want to hit with you guys, but I gotta pull up a video to show you. All right. So this is Ibarana America. Posted this video. When you live in Latin America long enough, you'll see how many local men tolerate shit from literal goblin tortas. This man went viral because he was only allowed to hit the bar with his friend if he stays on video call with his girl. Take a look at this.
Stop, bro. Stop.
Look at the way she's looking at him, bro.
Bro.
Damn.
Bro, she got nothing on Peacock. She got nothing on Disney Plus. She got nothing on HBO. She is locked into that cell phone. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
With your man's, it's
She ain't even blinking.
Oh my God.
The second that shit ain't on you.
It's just him and his friend.
Bro, is that DJ Khaled?
Oh, she looked like
another one.
Those stone faces, like from like Night at the Museum.
She's a Stonehenge.
Oh my God, bro! No happiness, just straight up. I'm watching like Roz from Monsters Inc. I'm watching Mike Wazowski. I'm all
that's perfect. Hey, you guys ever play Smash Bros? You ever like hit the Kirby? You hit the Kirby rock, the Kirby at the when like you hit the down B on Smash with Kirby, and he's like the rock form. Mm-hmm. That's her face. It's just Kirby's fucking.
I cannot imagine being in a relationship like that. At what point is it just not worth it? I'm not about to get into this lady's looks on why you would do that for that. Everyone can make their own conclusions on that one. But in general, I can't imagine being in a relationship to where if I wanted to, let's say we all were together, we want to go out.
I don't care if I'm dating Kim K.
Right. We all want to get some beers and she got to sit on FaceTime and just right in front of me and make sure that I'm not talking to anybody else other than my friends. At what point is it not worth it to be in the relationship?
Bro, I tell you, there is definitely a point. As a person who's lived in it, where a girl was asking me to send me pictures of like me in bed and not still out with my friends. And I was sitting there in like the passenger seat of my friend's car trying to put my hoodie up, make it look like a pillow.
Okay,
it ain't fucking worth it, bro.
Time out. Because one, that's crazy to be in that situation. What's also crazy is the fact that your ass wasn't where you're supposed to be. You say, yeah, she was crazy, but she wasn't wrong.
No. Okay. She's like, he probably out here cheating. And I'm like, no, I'm literally watching the UFC fights with Tony.
So
like,
why didn't you tell her that? So why didn't you say
I
that?
would tell her that, but she didn't believe me. And so then it got to a point where I was like, well, I can't even be with Tony. So I'm going to just tell you I'm at home. And I got caught one of the times where she's like, that's clearly your shirt. I was like, shit.
You're out here giving women trust issues.
Bro,
One
no.
Kyle at a time.
I'll give you the full context off air. She had the trust issues were born within her.
I got a feeling I know who you're talking about.
Put them all on me. Yeah, it was bad.
But regardless, oh my goodness. Yeah, man. And so this leads to a different tweet that I saw. I'm curious you guys' thoughts on this. Now, obviously, Kyle and I are in relationships. I believe both happy relationships, but it's from at Jessica_love95. A lot of single men seem completely checked out of dating now. Like they replaced romance with gym memberships, football, and pretending they're happier alone. And then at Chase and Cache quote tweeted it and said, suicide and depression rates for men are down in 2026, so I don't think niggas is pretending. LMAO.
That's real. Toph sitting here nodding.
Mm-hmm. I told Toph, because Toph had mentioned this when we had that conversation about porn in relationships, and Toph had said, like, I think I'm about to be a bachelor for forever. Like, I'm cool. So I told Toph I was going to toss it to him to start this one off. Is that kind of where you're at with things right now? Or I've heard the dating pool is not very fun as at the present, so.
I mean, shit, especially in the zoo. Ain't nothing, you ain't finding no Kim Kardashians down here. I want a Kim Kardashian.
Not on the west side, no way.
That name a couple of times. I just had to throw it out there. For me, personally, for Toph, and probably most guys as well, too, like I said, let me know how y'all feel as well, too. Peace is king.
Yes.
Like I said, we were just saying, like, how you kind of got on me about the game. And I said, I've been at work all day. As soon as I got home, for me, watching the basketball game, that ain't what I wanted to do in there. I didn't get in the game. I just got on Crunchyroll. Started watching some TV show. Just, nice, peaceful. Just wind it on down. I've had all the crazies going on at work, busy, loud, up on my feet. I just wanted to disengage from everything in there. And when you got a girl that's nagging on you, looking like a fucking milk dud anyway, you should have just, said, get away with that one in there. When you got, all that stress, someone that want to be looking at you, have your snap maps open. I need to be at it all times, Anytime you hear that ding on your phone, they look right up. They could be dead asleep. They walk right on up. I said, man, I ain't got time to deal with that. You throwing off, my emotion, my energy, my vibes. I'm a big vibe person. I could meet you for the first time, and if you just put me off rip, I'm not gonna like you. And that's just how I am in there. Most dogs gonna do that as well too. You might have, one of your homies in there, but your dog might not mess with them. That dog, no. There's something about this person that throws me off in there. And the last thing I want to do, if I'm in a relationship, get off work, I'm an off day, I don't want nothing to throw me off in there. I'm trying to kick back and relax. And if you can't have a girl that can't, give you, I'm going to just say 30 minutes, this poor man is trying to watch the game with his friend. And he couldn't do that. If you're so insecure about you being cheated on, you need to go to counseling yourself. You need to, you're not right for somebody. You can't be that insecure in yourself. And I mean this wholeheartedly in there. Because my parents always said this, friends as well too. If you have to be with somebody to feel complete, you're in it for the wrong reasons right there. Like I said, for me and myself in there, what I always want to say is like, I'm just working on me, myself in there. Like I said, I like women and all the things like that in there, but that's just not my priority right now. Back when I was a young jit, I went through a lot of girls, dogged them, had my fun in there. Like I said, for me, it's just like I said, I've been there, done that kind of thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd much rather just have like a peaceful, day, get on the game with the boys, take some L's in Rivals, take some L's in, Battlefield, but you know what? You're with the fellas. You're having fun. You might want to rage mode to punch your monitor, but it's peaceful. You're in your element in this. That's what it all is for me and them, man. So like I said, my oldest brother, he got, 2 kids. So there was no pressure on me to give my parents grandkids, Shout out to my older brother. He did that for me. And so now, I could just do me in there. So that's where I'm at. And then, like I said, if I was at the grocery store and, I just found the one and I just know it right then and there, then things change. But I'm not searching and I ain't no rush for it. If it happens, it happens.
I think that
that's the way to be.
For me, that I completely resonate with you in the aspect of peace. I think that between like my parents are divorced now. It happened after I went to college, but they're split. A lot of my friends' parents are split up. I've had friends in crazy relationships where they've been the crazy ones or had to deal with craziness. And it's like, I think that what I've figured out, especially as I've got, not that I'm ancient or anything, but I'm 28. So as I'm getting up there, like, I don't have the bandwidth that I did when I was in my young 20s, when you were first hitting the bars or college parties, to be dealing with shit like that. Like, I'm with you. I pay bills. I go to work. Like, I am looking for peace. And so, and that's something that Lex and I have talked about too, is just the fact that, like, that's my number one priority, is I want to be at peace, especially when I'm at home, especially with my person. Like, I have so many other things in life that could stress me out. The last thing I want to have is come home to more stress in any aspect. And so, I mean, shout out to Lex. Absolutely is my peace. You know what I mean? If I'm going through something, I can either talk about it or not talk about it with her. And she doesn't stress me about stuff. I mean, I think, Kyle, you and I have both talked about the fact that we're blessed to be able to, 2 days a week disappear for a few hours at night when we could be hanging out with them to come film a podcast like this. So yeah, for me, peace is absolutely everything. And the fact, and something that goes along with that too, aside from the insecurity of getting cheated on, is just the having your own shit. Like, Lex has her own hobbies. Like, if I want to play the game, she can read a book, she can write, she can paint, she can draw, she can do whatever the fuck she watch her reality TV show, whatever the fuck she wants to do. She can do that and leave me alone, and I can do what I'm doing and leave her alone. And then when we both had enough of doing what we're doing, we can come back together. If it's been a few days and we've been doing our own thing, hey, let's make today about us, right? There's give and take in a relationship, and then there's a lot of give and take in that too, because you can't be at so much peace where anything is a bother, right? Where, like, I remember when we first got together, she every time something happens, she want to call me and talk to me about it. So I'm like 5 minutes away from home, and I'm listening to my music, and she called me to tell me that some stickers didn't come in the mail. I was so fucking mad because you cut my music off for this. But how blessed am I to have someone that wants to call me to tell me some bullshit like that, that's who she wants to talk to about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to. So there's give and take with the situation. But I think that
you got to remember. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I see people in situations like this, like the video we just watched, and it's funny to look at, but I can't understand the thought that goes into, I want to be with this person so much that doesn't trust me enough to go get a beer with my friends. So you got to sit on FaceTime and just fuck the vibe up. We can't talk and hang out as boys. You got the girl on FaceTime staring at you. If it was cool like that, just come out with us. But if I'm not with us, then just let me be for you know what I mean? And you got to have trust. And we don't know. He could have done some dog shit to where this is the compromise. You want to stay together? This is what it's like. But at that point, for both of you, just break up.
Get it done. Yeah.
But to put a cherry on top and just go back to what Toph said, peace is so important. And so I would say to anyone listening to this that is in an unpeaceful spot, because like you said, Toph, if you got to be with someone else to feel complete, I can't imagine why else he would feel the need to be on FaceTime with her. Why not just break up? You need her like that to feel complete? You got to be cool with who you are first, and then bring someone else in that adds to that, and y'all build together. Not something where there's so much dysfunction on ground level that y'all can never accomplish anything as a team together.
And I see it all the time because, like I said, I'll see videos like that, or just like people. Let's say people, most ladies And some guys, on Facebook, Instagram, they always get kind of mad about, guys playing games in there. Which I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say it's like a race thing, certain age gap in there. I want to say probably more of a maturity standpoint. I think is what it really stems down to. Or you have the argument of games are for kids. You got the other part that says, I'd rather have, my husband, at home, safe, not out there in them streets and them bars. If he needs to play the game to get stuff work for him to wind down, that's his piece. Let him have it. And I'm like, that's perfect in there. He ain't on there, 12 hours a day. But, like I said, if he had a long day at work, he just want to hop on the park, dunk on somebody. Then once he's had his piece, now he can hang out with the family, have you time as well, too. But like what Doe said, everybody has to have their own time away. You can't spend 24 hours with that individual. You get tired of that person. There's no more, I don't want to say mystery, but like something new. If you spend all your day together in there's nothing really to talk about because you guys basically live in the same life.
100%. Yeah. When Miranda's at work, when I'm at work, we don't really like text like that. We want to come home and be like, hey, how was your day? And like unpack it together instead of just being like, this is what's going on right now and like live tweeting each other, And I think that's important. I think that like kind of what Toph's like building off what Toph was just saying. Yeah. Like you can't be around the same person 24 hours a day and expect to always get along. I mean, that's why when you're on vacations together, the tensions start to rise on the way home because you've been around each other nonstop for 6.5 days, hardly using any socials, anything, like then you're on the 18-hour drive home and you're starting to rub each other the wrong way. It's like, oh yeah, that's why this is happening. Like I haven't had a break. I haven't had anything, like everybody needs a break from everybody. And kind of back to what Spencer said, like every girl is going to have their insecurities. Every guy is going to have their insecurities. But if you find a person that is just there to support you and there to like kind of just be another constant, be the rock like they're supposed to be. And like, that's you're not always going to be that. Tensions are going to rise. You're going to get annoyed. You're going to get pissed. Things are going to happen. But yeah, about 99% of the time, Miranda is the person that calms me down, not the person that drives me up. And that is like the best thing for my life. Like, yeah, it's, and we talked about it when we did our IRL episode, Spence. We were like, fuck, these girls are so similar. And I think us being similar and them being similar just kind of makes sense, like we're kind of this type of personality, they're that other, and we all like we mesh well together. And I think there's a reason for that. So I think you just got to find your person, find what works, find your support, and everything will work. I'm not just talking to you, Toph. I mean, you do you. You're gonna find the freaking sexiest snow bunny that loves Marvel Rivals and plays video games all the time. Like she's gonna be 18 hours a day on the game with you, bro. That's gonna be your.
Oh man!
But that's good though. That's good though to be like, hey, I would rather be chilling than dealing with some bullshit. And that is absolutely the best.
Either she's gonna get in line with like this, and like, yeah, maybe you'll make some compromises, whatever. But like, yeah, I better get my time on the games. I better get my time for my friends, and like, I better get my support. And like I feel like any partner should ask that.
And I think that there's people that like, I had some friends that just broke up, and it's like, I think both of the things that they wanted out of each other they weren't getting. And I don't think either of you are wrong for that. You're just not compatible. And so once you realize that, the person can be a good person and you can still like them, but just understand that, hey, what we want from each other is not lining up. So it's time to like separate. One thing, and this is the last thing that I'll say about this, is just that one thing that I think is very important and that I was waiting for, and Lex and I when we first got together, went through a crazy honeymoon stage. Shit was perfect for months. But one thing that I wanted to see is, how do we fight? Like, how does it escalate? Do you get mad and say things that you can't take back? Do we have a way of calming this down? Or are we just is this gonna drag on for forever? And something that I think is, I mean, we've been together for 8 years at this point, but I think something that's been helpful that, we try to do is, first of all, the way that we talk to each other. Like, if I'm upset with you, I still need to regulate what I'm saying and what you say back to me. Let's not disrespect each other. Let's not make this a bigger issue than it is. Let's just communicate and get to the. And the other thing is, it's you and your partner versus the problem, not you versus your partner. And I think that the sooner people start looking at things like that, it starts to come with more productive conversations and solutions.
I agree completely. That was very well said.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But that's us for tonight. Toph, get us up out of here.
Hey, late entry family, y'all had the double dose special today, boy. We was on one in there. If now more than ever, if you rock with us, if you listen to us audio, Spotify, Apple Music, make sure to follow, tell a friend of a friend, help us out, helps the algorithm out. And for our YouTube video listeners, we post everything on TikTok, of course on YouTube, Instagram. Hit the notification bell as well too. That way you get notified when a new video drops. And of course, smash that like and subscribe button. Please helps us out. Helps us pay the bills eventually down the road in there. Fingers like today, man, y'all don't want to miss it. We had some good conversations. We had some, sports, some lifestyle talk, some life lessons. Y'all need to tap in there. And on that note, y'all, late entry. We out.
Peace.